Welcome to today's edition of the Town Hall meeting, Monday the 20th. So, talk about a few things today. First, I want to start by welcoming and I've talked to some of these folks, but welcome our new move-ins. Excuse me. These allergies just will not go away this year. So, welcome our new move-ins in independent living. Go through the list here. So Janet Titus, she moved in earlier this month to Bedford 114. Rosemarie Faraci in Cambridge. Mary Lou Neal in Kent. Dr. Philip and Colleen Morey in Bedford. And later this week, Bernard and Ellen Schenkler in Kent as well. And so that's 5 move-ins within 1 month, and we are expecting possibly up to 3 more, and it's based upon timing and so on. That includes folks at Gate Circle as well. So as I've been talking about, it's been an extremely busy month at Canterbury Woods for us from a sales and move-in perspective. Many of these folks are kind of pent up because of what has been going on, and certainly here and wherever they're coming from with COVID. So we're thrilled to be able to have them move into the community, certainly under difficult circumstances, because as we know, whether it's here or at Gate Circle, it's the community isn't what the community typically is, or communities aren't what they typically are, with the way, unfortunately, that we have to go about our days now. So what we're trying to do is we've completely changed our orientation and welcoming program for these new residents. Typically, the staff is heavily involved in that orientation and welcoming program, but also there's a resident to resident, new resident to current resident mentorship kind of program and welcoming process. And unfortunately, most of that can't happen at this point. I think I mentioned it, our new move-in residents and independent have to be quarantined for somewhere north of a week. So they're coming into the community and they don't really have access to any of the amenities, anything that we are even doing now, including dining and some of the cultural arts and wellness and so on. So we want to get them through that process, which can be frustrating, I know. I've talked to several of them, and they've been certainly very understanding and appreciative. But then we are reaching out to them and kind of changing the orientation program so we can get them as engaged and answer the questions and go through any challenges that they may be having. So, of course, all that starts with Stephanie Reese-Davis. Stephanie is our moving coordinator. And as many residents know, because Stephanie has moved them in, she and the entire marketing staff do a tremendous job going through the process of moving, which can be, it's kind of an awesome process if you're an older adult and you've been in the same area or same house or all your life. I can speak a little bit to my mother-in-law. Janet Titus moved in 3 or 4 weeks ago. She lived in the same house for, Janet, 45 years or something like that, and in the same town in Syracuse her entire life. And now here she is in Buffalo. So we certainly have many of those, examples here that we're trying to work through. So Stephanie helps in that process, and then after they're here for a bit, Sandy Barilari, who's our cultural arts director, will be reaching out to them. She's here in Williamsville, or Karen Sergey in Gate Circle for the residents that are at Gate Circle, just going over the cultural arts calendar and how to access this and trying to find out if there's anything that they're interested in. Tracy Terlecki will be reaching out to them on wellness and fitness. Dawn Wilkes, who's our resident services coordinator here in Williamsville, certainly will reach out to them to find out any resident services type needs that they might want. Rashawn Norman at Gate Circle for similar. And then myself. Typically, I leave the new move-in residents alone for maybe up to a month because I know that they're inundated with so much information the first month or so that I always say that I'm probably the least most important person to reach out to them because there's so much other stuff that they need to kind of be oriented on and feel comfortable with. But I've been reaching out to them, and also Wendy Doster from Dining Services will be reaching out to them as well, because clearly at all of our sites, dining is drastically different than it ever has been before, and we want to make sure that they're able to navigate that process. So that has evolved, and it will continue to evolve, and obviously it's a reflection of what's going on within our communities and us trying to stay safe, but also trying to open up appropriately and have appropriate opportunities for our residents for community engagement and so on. So a lot more to come on that. Thanks again to Stephanie and the marketing team for all they're doing there. Visitation for the health centers continues this week. This will be the first full week for both assisted living and skilled nursing. As you remember, we started last Thursday. And so I think we're pretty booked up this week. The process remains the same. Call ahead about 48 hours to get an appointment. So for assisted living, you call Sandy Barillari at 929-5127 or Sharon Seacrest at 929-5111. For skilled nursing, Sandy again, or Christine Simpson at 929-5122. Everybody, including the residents, should have gotten a letter from me and talking about the process, talking about the numbers. This information is posted on Touchtown, so you don't have to remember it exactly what I'm saying here, but information is available, and we're happy to be able to offer this to folks that want to come in and see their loved ones. I just got this stat today, which I didn't even know how drastic this was, but it came out today that there are 1,157 nursing homes and assisted living communities in New York State, 1,157. We were able to offer a visitation starting the middle of last week. Canterbury Woods is one of only 75 nursing homes and assisted living, because we have both, so it probably whittles that number even down, but one of only 75 organizations in the state that was able to offer visitation last week. So I guess it's a testament to us not having cases, and being able to offer that level of security to our residents and safety to our residents here, that we were able to offer visitation almost on time with what the state recommendations are. More and more we'll be able to. If you look at the guidelines from New York State are that organizations can only offer visitation, this is both skilled nursing and assisted living, if they're COVID-free for staff and certainly for residents for 28 straight days. So for 28 straight days leading up to the middle of last week, any organization had to be COVID-free in order to be able to offer visitation, and we were lucky enough to be able to achieve that benchmark. So also within the guidelines, we have to maintain that. So unfortunately, if a resident did come down with a case, or a staff member that works in a nursing home did come down with a case, we would have to suspend visitation. So we're going to take it day by day, of course, and let's hope that we continue to have the great track record that we've had so far. Visitation within independent living is staying the same, and that's been the same now for a month to 6 weeks. For those who want to visit their independent living loved one, they have to call ahead to Dawn Wilkes, hopefully the day before, 929-5160. It's drop-off or pick-up and drop-off only, so no visitors coming into the community, and no on-site or on-campus visitation, meaning outside. So again, we hope that everybody continues to understand and respect those protocols. You know, people have been asking me, when do I see the visitation in Independent changing? I don't have a solid answer to that. I mean, there's certain reasons why we have pick up and drop off that I've talked about. We would love to be able to offer on-site COVID antigen testing. And that's this 15-minute-ish rapid testing that you see and you've read about and is becoming more and more available in healthcare settings. That is our goal. If and when we can do that, it will allow us to reevaluate our whole visitor situation. So we are actually in line to purchase one of those projects when they're available, and I hope they're available sooner rather than later. I mean, and the other great unknown, of course, is what's going to happen within the virus, with the virus within our community. The community, Western New York and throughout New York State, we've been pretty successful over the last month. I mean, let's hope and pray that continues, because unfortunately, you know, that's really going to dictate what we do throughout not only Independent, but within the health centers as well. Thanks, everybody. Have a nice day. I'll see you back on Wednesday.